Because if we're honest, like, yo, the dating scene for believers is really what in one word?
Uncertain.
Full of grace.
Yeah.
I was gonna say confusing. So yeah, it's really confusing. There's a lot of stuff that like it just isn't really defined. And so we hear a lot about dating, we hear a lot about marriage, but we don't hear nothing about talking.
Nope.
Talking.
So
getting to know people.
So all of us are not like, were we all born believers? Did y'all come into the faith later, early?
I was early.
Okay, you was early.
I was mad early. I was later.
Okay, you were later. I was later.
Yeah, I was early, dipped out, came back.
Okay,
that's my
Okay, so then let's define what's talking just in a regular sense, not even biblical. Like to y'all, what is talking?
Talking is interest is clear, and you guys are just getting to know each other.
Okay,
that's kind of it. Like you talking to them.
So what do you do? So
literally, you're just talking.
This is gonna sound like a stupid question. This is gonna sound like a stupid question. Okay, go ahead.
No, because when I think about like talking or even my experiences and like knowing, especially like from the perspective of other women who are talking to guys, like that doesn't seem to be like as platonic of a space as.
Okay, you getting far ahead for.
I'm sorry, because people like be devastated, like, oh, you're talking to other people, like, oh,
okay, because that was gonna be I was gonna lead into that.
That's
so like,
real.
What do you do when you talk? What does talking look like?
I would like to know what everybody else thinks, because I have in my mind what I feel like talking is.
That's what we want to know.
Yeah. So in my mind, like if I'm talking to somebody, I don't know. For me, because I don't know if it's because of my personality, but it's like if I'm talking to somebody, that means like you should be talking to me, I should be talking to you, and we ain't talking to nobody else. I feel like disrespected in a sense, like, oh, your attention is so short where you can't talk to one person at a time. I feel like if I'm talking to somebody, then you have my whole attention, and I'm not finna be, because that's weird to me. It's kind of like cheating almost, even though you're not in a relationship and there's no certain thing that's like you're locked down. For me, it feels like if I don't have your attention while we're just talking, then what's going to happen when we actually get into a relationship? That's just me, but
fair enough.
That's
all right.
I think it just depends on like, you know, where you guys are at in talking. Like, is it somebody that you've known for a month? Is it somebody that you've known for, 6 months or whatever? If it's somebody that's brand new in my life, I don't really know them like that. I don't know if I like them like that, but I like them enough to, be intentional about getting to know them. I might talk to some other people.
I'm gonna keep it real, man. Like, I think it's a super disconnect between men and women. Like, we both have two completely different ideas of what talking is supposed to be, right? Like,
bring it down.
I feel like a lot of times women feel like Paula said, like talking is supposed to be like exclusive, but I think it's a bigger issue. Like it speaks to communication and what that means to each individual person.
Absolutely.
Generally, women, like if they're like we're talking, so I feel like women. I'm not a woman, so I can't speak for y'all, but I feel like you guys determine what you want the end of a thing to be and how far you're going to go with it before you decide to enter a situation. Men, we enter a situation, and then based on the information that we get after we enter the situation, we determine what we want the end to be. And I think that's confusing, because when we're talking to determine if, like, we're interested, but we know that that's surface. So we want to talk to you because we think you look good, and we like, your personality and all that stuff, but we don't know if we want to tie our lives to you or anything like that. So let's talk, and then based on where your head is at and how you feel about things, most of the time men are like, all right, then we make a decision based on the information we get during the talking phase.
Okay, so here's a question. What determines the level of commitment that it takes to talk to somebody?
From a woman's perspective?
Women and men. Because it seems like Paula was like already invested.
Yeah.
Like, I'm invested and then I'm talking.
Yeah.
versus Priest, who was like, I'm talking to get invested.
Yeah.
So
Or
what?
determine if I want to be invested.
Correct.
Really. Yeah.
Correct, because she just might end up being a homie, or she might end up
Yep.
being crazy, or vice versa.
Exactly.
Yeah.
Exactly.
So like, what goes into a woman's decision to want to talk to somebody?
Don't be
So for me, I guess
shoes leaning.
Are they leaning?
so for me, I determine that on physical attraction, intellect,
Yes.
like if we can converse, we can laugh. Like I'm the type of person, for me, I've struggled with, like Priest was saying, like I will see us. Like if I see you, I can see us. Like I can see us together. I can see us in the long run. So usually, and my attention span isn't that great either. So if I'm talking to you, I really only have the attention to give to you. I don't necessarily have that for multiple people, because I probably already have talked to different people before I even got to you. So I've already ruled out people by the time that I actually am like, okay, let's talk. And for me, exchanging numbers doesn't mean that we're talking. Like we can exchange numbers.
That's real.
Yeah,
That's a generational
real.
thing.
Yes.
because we used to celebrate the number.
Yo,
Like, I got the number, son.
That was it. Yeah, that was it.
Like legit.
Like, I bagged it.
that is not
That
mean-
ain't true.
That does not mean
not
anything.
true.
Yeah,
Especially
well,
if I'm
now-
not agreeing to see you in real life
Right.
or any
Yeah,
like
true
if it
story.
doesn't go beyond the text, we're not talking. So I think it goes back to communication. Like we have to define what it is that we both want out of this situation, even if we're just getting to know each other. Like I don't think we really make that clear across the board. Like Christian or not, like I don't think that's very clear what it is that I want from you
Yeah.
and what it is that I expect. Like I don't think that's really made known.
So here's a question to what you said. You said intellect. So how do you know if he's intellectual prior to talking to him?
Usually
Yeah, that don't take much.
before we get to the talking stage, because I don't count it at the number exchange. We've had some type of conversation or something, or maybe we're friends on Facebook or we're friends on Instagram, and I kind of see how you post. I see the things that you say, and they may be intriguing. Like now we have that whole aspect. When talking back in my day, I didn't have the number exchange was the beginning of something, because you didn't have any idea of what you were coming in contact with prior to the number exchange. You would see somebody, like that's when people used to talk to each other in public. Like I see you, you're cute, let's exchange numbers, let's see what's up. Now we're talking.
Now it's just a DM.
Yeah.
Interesting.
Now it's the DM away.
Okay.